Welcome to week 2. Welcome back. Welcome back. We got a exciting week of football here. I know I'm pumped. We got someone in the chat. We need everybody else to hop in. It'd be exciting if you did. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Probably should have tested my audio. But yeah, week 2 versus the Bears. This is huge. Hello, everyone. I think it's just us, but hello. Sailor Outlaw George. That's just a strange name. That's a creative name. I'd love to hear the story behind that. Let me make sure I can hear myself. No, we're good to go. I'm really geeked for this this week 2 game. I feel like week 1 was so boring, so lame. It really did feel like a preseason game. There's so many people that put that in the comments. Everywhere, every show I listen to, it just preseason. So at least we all agree on that. Okay, audio works perfect. All right, well, we're back. Week 2, Lions versus the Bears. I'm streaming live. Appreciate everybody that's liked and subscribed to the channel. There's a lot of folks out there, though, that now that football season's back and you're thinking sports, make sure you're subscribed. I still think it's 85% of our listeners now that listen weekly don't hit that button, and please hit it. So also go out to Tom's channel, Hermdo. He's done a really awesome job at putting some content for us, whether it is his Lions recap, Tigers, Wings. He's a treasure trove of knowledge, and he's very much appreciative over here on the fan forum. So we're also on Twitch. I'm not really sure about this too much or know anything about Twitch, but we are streaming live right now on Twitch, and I believe we're streaming live right now on Facebook. So not sure how you're watching me, but if you're watching, I appreciate it, and if you're not, well, why are you still watching TV? That's my question. You're watching a bunch of recycled garbage over and over. Admit it. They're saying the same stuff that you've been saying all week. Why don't you just come on here up into the chat and put your comments in here? Because I know ESPN is not reading your comments. You know, even if you're just you use this as like background noise an hour before the game while you're cooking, you're getting all your stuff ready. Throw it on the TV. If you don't know how to put YouTube on the TV by now, what's wrong with you? So, no excuses. I want results. And I know everybody out there can't stand listening to them. I don't care what network it is, local or national. They just recycle the same trash over and over. You know it and I know it. I'm not a professional. I'm just some goofball in his basement that his wife was kind enough to allow a little bit of free time to do this, because this is the whole point of this whole fan forum network, is that it's not common sense, or it is common sense with sports talk and observation. And you don't need to have a multi-billion-dollar network and a bunch of fancy suits to sit at a table and talk, right? Everything they're saying on the TV, you're saying at home. So why don't you hop in the chat and say it with me? All right. Well, we got that over. Go out to the fourth wall. We got some merch. Working on creating every day something new, whether it's hats, shirts. I started out with some basic logos, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to get, and I already started, but like Red Wings, you're going to have red Detroit. Tigers, you're going to have orange Detroit, and then the fan forum will stay the same. But, you know, you don't have to just get the Lions blue one. We've got, I'm going to start making Red Wings stuff, Tigers stuff. I did some 90s throwbacks to some, well, you'll see. Go on the fourth wall. I'll eventually put that link right here in the conversation. But, yeah. While we're talking, and it's just me, I don't want to spend too much time. I think Tom and I already kind of gave you a breakdown of what we think the keys to last week's meltdown was. I feel like the vibe is much different this week. Week 2, we're starting off at home. We're not opening on the road with a bunch of guys that haven't played since last year. So Robert Porche's Ring of Honor. I think I got that right. The Ring of Honor that the Lions are doing. That I think a lot of franchises are doing now, where that's they try to get as much engagement with their ex players that obviously have. I'd say all of them are Hall of Fame credible. Some of these teams I think are reaching a little bit to put butts in seats. They don't have a lot of legends that they could cycle through. Like I know the Patriots did it for all of their 6 Super Bowl winning teams with Teddy Bruschi and Tom Brady. I mean, that's an easy one, a no-brainer. But if you're a franchise like the Lions, who you never won a Super Bowl, you don't just have a plethora of guys to pick from. So it's cool to see Robert Porche's coming through. A name that you never forgot about, but it's not a name. And again, football in Detroit is not immediately what you think. You think Barry Sanders, and it kind of ends right there. But you forget Herman Moore, Robert Porche. If Hitch was here, he'd name a bunch of other guys for me. He's a treasure trove of naming every obscure player out there that none of us remember. But yeah, put some comments in the chat. Let me know what you think is going to happen with this game. Me personally, no disrespect to the Bears, but if there was ever a time you didn't want to play the Lions, it's probably right now. It's their first home game. They felt embarrassed. They knew they should have won that game. John Morton heard every complaint I think you guys gave him. You got inside Jared Goff. Dome Goff is great Goff. Everything is lining up to be a very successful game. The feeling's right. The weather's right. I know it's inside, but I'm sure the tailgates are booming right now. I just think we're going to see an offense that is out ready to make a statement quicker. They did not seem like they were in a rush to make any noise last week. Their urgency will be there. The feeling you want will be there. I think Hutch makes the defensive line makes an instant impact. I mean, this is kind of a. I think they're going to play hard enough till we forget about week 1. Going through every video out there that they had of every Lion, I mean, I didn't see one player that looked content with week 1 loss. They look beyond embarrassed. So we won't beat them up anymore. I think they've proven over time that they're a team that can adjust. Speaking of that, adjusting, we need to get some of you other fans on here. I know there's a lot of bandwagon fans in Detroit. A lot of my friends are too that are fans of other teams. So if you want to come on here as a fan of another team, please do so. I say that because that was just a text message from Wayne. Wayne, if you're watching, we need to work on getting you a microphone that suits your needs and get you back on here, dude. I could really use you, especially for these live pre-games. Your insight is appreciative. Plus, your Bills are having a hell of a start of a season. A team that I know Hitch and myself really love the Bills. We really like Josh Allen. If there's a team that you want to believe in, and there's a clip, it's the clip of Josh Allen saying, hey, I watched all you guys leave with 4 minutes left. Don't give up on us, right? It's just week 1. And they did that against the Ravens, man. Week 1 Bills looked battle-tested already. That I say it every year. The world says it every year. The Bills are destined to go to a Super Bowl. I really hope it's this year, man. Of course, it would mean playing the Lions, which I'm okay with. All right, so From a score standpoint, let's see. I haven't really thought about this ahead of time. I kind of wanted everything to sit and go out, but I think this is a game where you see. I think both teams come out right away and do a battle for battle score. Ben Johnson is not a bad coach. He's not stupid. The Bears have some talent on their team. But with that being said, they're one of those teams that I feel like can't go the full four quarters. So they're going to come out, they're going to throw everything they have at us in that first half. I expect it to be a very aggressive, physical game where both teams are eager to put up a big score. You've got a Dan Campbell offensive-minded coach and a Ben Johnson offensive-minded coach. Both have their egos, have their own version of their big personalities. None of these. This isn't a game where Dan Campbell's going against a division opponent and he just wants to have it a really clean, injury-free Week 2 game. This game's personal. I'm sorry. This is a game where they're going to be going swinging for the fences. So I see this game starting out crazy hot. I hope we can control our temper, Brian Branch. I do worry about a lot of unnecessary penalties, although it being in our home base with the crowd on our side, I hope those fans make it very unbearable for the Bears fans to hang out in, because there will be Bears fans there, and for the Bears players to play in. I know Ford Field is not an easy place to play. It's a fun place to play, but it's not an easy place if you're the opponent because of how loud it is in there. I don't think we're 12th man like where it's just that disruptive yet, but we've got the potential to be, especially with a young quarterback. And I think that's the unique and fun thing is if there was ever a time for our defensive line to eat, it would be against an aged, pieced together offensive line through free agency for the Bears and a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach coming back to coach where he made his bones, right? I mean, he made his name here in Detroit. You can't tell me he's not a little nervous. You know, he's not walking in cool as a cucumber, excited because he's on a premier team and he left you shitbags. It's not one of those things where, you know, where we see that in the past, right? He's got a lot to prove, and this is a tough place to play, and a tough team to play, and a team that shouldn't be 0-1, and they know it, and then the league knows it too, right? So I kid that the script writers aren't ever writing. They don't like Detroit, but there was a game I think we'd see the script writers start to like our Lions. It's this game. So I don't know. You let me know what you think. I just did my little rant. We're only 16 minutes into this. I still got about another 45 minutes before game time. We'll see how long I can go. I think it would be a lot more enjoyable if I switched over and showed you to what I was looking at. So, kind of just talking about around the league, this is the interesting thing with the 1 o'clock games. We've already saw the Green Bay-Washington game. It was pretty interesting. I don't know. I think Washington still is a pretty strong team, but they showed that they're having their sophomore slump. They're not the hot, crazy team that they finished off as, which is fine because that was kind of a spark that got lit at the end with a rookie quarterback and a new coach and a whole new team. This is where you start to see, okay, we've got tape on you. We've got a year to game plan for you. This is why the NFL is the NFL, and it's tough to play. You're not going to start off Jaden Daniels playing Hall of Fame level football, albeit he's really good, and that's still a really talented team. I think the more mature, ready now team won that game in Green Bay. Green Bay, you guys are having a great season. Not even going to shit on the Packer fans. I think you guys are coming out hot. You're going to have a really strong first half. But what I found out personally as a Lions fan is staying healthy, and it's how you finish into the playoffs. So happy for your 2-0 start. You guys definitely look like a respectable team. Still, in my opinion, I think you did not have to make the Micah Parsons trade. Dalton, if you're listening, you didn't have to make that trade. Same thing, Hartley. I really don't think you did. You were a good team without Micah Parsons. I think Micah Parsons is a really nice, explosive defensive player and plays on the back end of his career. He's having a nice career. Worth the money maybe 2 years ago. But I hate to side with Jerry on this one. I don't know. I just paid him $47 million. I feel like it goes against everything you guys have always done. You've always drafted really well, never really overpaid guys where your contracts are that gross. So this is just a really strange move that I didn't think you had to make. You made it. He's here. It's to me, it's not a big deal. We just see him one more time in the year because we still saw him with the Cowboys. It's not like we never saw Micah fucking Parsons. So he's still a relevant thing. Anyways, you got New Orleans, San Francisco. This game's going to be interesting, guys, because Brock Purdy's hurt, and it sounds like San Francisco is pretty okay with this. Now, I don't know who's starting for Brock Purdy. Let's do this. This is I hate Bleacher Report. I'm going right to the NFL. Man, what an interesting franchise. 49ers, man. I'm kind of glad that's not our team. I like that defense, but that offense is strange. And they're 1-0. And they'll be that way because of Kyle Shanahan. So, okay, we got 49ers at Saints. Brock Purdy is not playing. Oh, hold on. Maybe he's not on the injury list. Yeah, Mac Jones is a full participant. So Mac Jones should be starting this game. I think this is going to be an interesting game to see. Mac Jones was drafted by the Patriots. We all know he was at Alabama. Alabama quarterbacks seemingly can put it together if they're put in the right offense. Mac Jones in the San Francisco Giants offense, I think, will work nice. He doesn't have to cannonball the arm out there. He can just deliver nice time passes. This is a game where I think San Francisco wins. When the Saints starting Spencer Rattler, to me, sorry, buddy, I don't have a lot of hope. I think you're the sacrificial lamb this year at quarterback for the Saints because they've got Alvin Kamara, and that's kind of it. Not a flashy team. I did really enjoy watching the Saints of Latter-day play. They're no longer that franchise anymore. So Jaguars Bengals. This is actually one that I think is going to be a really interesting game to watch. You've got the 1-0 Jags, and you've got the 1-0 Bengals. Now, two first-round quarterbacks going at it. I think there's 4 or 5 this week starting, which is an NFL league. First, where you've got, I think it's 4 matchups where you have head-to-head first-round drafted quarterbacks going at it against each other. So Jaguars, Bengals, that's one of those games where I think the Jaguars are having the start of the season that we thought they would with Trevor Lawrence. He's a good quarterback. He's got all the fundamentals. He's got the size, the strength, the arm. They've put weapons around him. This is going to be a good test. for the Jags and the Bengals. Same thing with the Bengals. Great team, great quarterback, great wide receiver. Always favor to go to the Super Bowl. Something keeps holding them up. This is a game where they want to identify themselves as the, primary big dog team to pull away from the Jags. Now's your chance to do it. Then we're looking at the Giants and the Cowboys. Oh my God, this one is so funny. If you want to talk about douchey fan versus douchey fan, the Giants, the G-men. Sorry guys, your days are numbered. Your team sucks. It's back to sucking. And the last thing that's ever been good for you was Eli Manning. So, Cowboys. If you can't beat this Giants team, then Jerry, your Micah Parsons move looked pretty silly because you keep locking guys up. And week one, I'll give it to you. You're playing Philly. That's not an easy way to start the season, but this is a game you're playing in your home base with the G-men. If you can't beat them respectively, we've got some bigger fish to fry. Bears, Lions, obviously that's a Lions win. I think that's going to be like I said, one of those games where at the second half, that's where you see the Lions start to really pull away. And I don't know. I don't want this to be a nail biter. God damn it. It shouldn't be. Patriots, Dolphin. Two terrible teams, two bad franchises. Would really like to see the Pats get a win over the Dolphins for some reason. I like to see the Dolphins' demise. Let them start trading away some of those players, maybe get a couple edge rushers. Bills, Jets. Good Lord, this is going to be a bloodletting. Sorry, Aaron Glenn. I think Wayne's Bills are going to stomp a mud hole into the side of your head. I really hate that Aaron Glenn went to the Jets because that's just one of those franchises that I feel like they're like the Browns. There's just some of those franchises that you really root for them and you want them to do well, but they can't get out of their own way. And I really hope Aaron Glenn can turn that culture around. Seattle Seahawks, Steelers. Man, they were beefing this game up to be like a Monday Night Football game, but it's just a 1 o'clock game on Fox. I'd like to see Seattle. The last thing you want to see is Aaron Rodgers 2-0 in the beginning of the season. I'm rooting against Aaron Rodgers. I'm still a Steelers fan, but I'm rooting, against Aaron Rodgers. So, hope the Seahawks take this one. I like Mike McDonald as a coach. Obviously, Michigan connection. Rams, Titans. This is going to be a Rams win. Dude, until Matt Stafford's gone, you're not going to be able to count this team out. He's just a really good quarterback. He's battle-tested. Yes, Kelly's annoying, but you're not going to test out. You're not going to count them out. Let's see. Panthers, Cardinals. Two franchises I could care less about. Seriously, this is a 4 o'clock game on CBS. I could care less about the Panthers and the Cardinals. I'm not even sure why both of these teams are allowed to exist. I'm not a big fan of Kyler Murray. I'm not a big fan of Bryce Young. I'm not a big fan of the way that the teams make decisions. But, hey, they have fan bases, I guess, if you want to call it. I know Arizona ran hockey right out of town, and they could do that too with football. Probably going to be a Cardinals win for some strange reason. I feel like Kyler Murray is going to continue to prove his talent, but I don't think his longevity is ever going to be there. Broncos, Colts, man. Sean Payton has really done a nice job with this Broncos team. I haven't covered them up and down like I do the Lions, but yeah, they meet the eye test. They meet the Sean Payton eye test. I think he gutted that roster the way anybody would have wanted to. Some of those coaches will hold on to those guys, and Sean Payton clearly had full control when he got there. I want to see the things work out with the Colts, but at the same time, I'm all for laughing at franchises that reach and buy a hype of a quarterback who athletically is talented but hasn't earn the right to be drafted where he got drafted, right? Just because you fell in love with his tape and you fell in love with Anthony Richardson. I don't know. But Danny Dimes is having himself a resurgence in Indy, so I think the Broncos are just a talented team, young, exciting, talented team on both sides of the ball. That's a game I think they take. Eagles Chiefs, man, 425. This is a game where I feel like whoever's reffing this game is going to have a really hard time. But Patty Mahomes going to get his first win of the year. They're going to be 1-1. Eagles will be 1-1. You're not going to let the Chiefs go 0-2. I don't really see that happening. It's at Arrowhead. So we already know that Patty's boys will be there. Then you've got Falcons at the Vikings. Now, this is one where I don't think the Falcons will win, but I really am rooting for them. So, JT, sorry, buddy. I know you're a big Falcons lover, but or I'm sorry, hater because they're in your Bucks division. But I really need them to level out my division. The Packers are already 2-0. I need the Vikings to be 1-1. Let's expose J.J. McCarthy. I don't think he's that great. I think the Falcons are one of those disruptive teams that are a great 500 team that'll always disrupt. And they're playing primo. They're playing prime time tonight. So I think if there's ever going to be a time for them to want to disrupt, it'll be tonight. So go Falcons, go Birds. And then we've got Monday night. We got back-to-back games because, as you know, we have not started with the bye weeks yet, but this will start kicking that off. So we'll have the all-famous Buccaneers at the all-famous Houston Texans. Oh, my lordy, lordy, lordy. Monday night, Bucs versus Texans. JT, I know you're excited for this one, and you think their Bucs are going to win, but I think this is going to be the battle of the quarterbacks, and I think that C.J. Stroud is going to outplay Baker just by a little bit, and I think Texans get their first win of the season. Then you've got the Chargers versus the Raiders. The Chargers will beat the Raiders. Just feel like it's that game. It's perfect for the Raiders to go 2-0. They're playing at home, if you want to call it home. But, dude, Harbaugh, he didn't start the season out 1-1, so not this year. I really think the Chargers are going to take that next step now with Justin Herbert. So expect the team with the better quarterback to win in that matchup. Okay, so we've gone over my little rundown of Week 2 in the NFL. We're about halfway till kickoff. Got a couple people in the chat. Just want to remind everybody, if you're still out there listening, to subscribe, to hop in, drop some comments. We are now going to be doing more than just Lions. So we've been doing a little bit of Tigers. We've been doing some Red Wings. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been doing it all. Well, actually, Hermdo's been doing it all. I've just been covering my Lions. He did a little bit of Michigan football, too. That's something I don't want to forget about. All right. Good call, Mark. So, I am a Michigan football fan. I guess when it comes to picking your favorite big-time football team, for me, it's Michigan. Now, I did not go to Michigan. I went to Central. So that's what makes this even better. Michigan played Central yesterday. I was super happy to see that my favorite big school completely obliterated my alma mater, right? And why I say that is because the last thing we needed is Bryce Underwood to start off with some bad juju. But holy shit, dude. He got mollywopped. Or, I'm sorry, he mollywopped the entire city of Mount Pleasant, 63-3. CMU came into the big house. You want to talk about a big money game for that school. Puts them back on the map. They kind of fell off the map. Back when I was going there in the early 2000s, we were ranked. Dan Lefevre had some big names: Antonio Brown, Joe Staley. Oh my God, look who's just decided to join us. Michael Lavati. I subscribed. Send me a hoodie. You bought your own hoodie. You somehow screwed up the postal shit on there. Where is that? Yeah, so anyways, Michael Lavati, I'm going to side note my central thing. Buys a hoodie on the fourth wall. Got mine yet. Has it sent to his house and says it's not there. Calls me. I said, well, contact them, contact the fourth wall, contact the post office. And he doesn't do anything past that. So I don't know what to do for you. They probably delivered it at the wrong house or the wrong address because where you live, you said, has some goofy box where everybody puts their shit. Go talk to one of your neighbors. They probably stole it. Tell them to subscribe while you're at it. Thanks for getting in the chat. I appreciate that. So Bryce Underwood, back to the conversation. His offensive coordinator was quoted as saying he's Batman, right? And they're going to have his DNA tested. But just look at these stats real quick. From a passing percentage, he's 16 of 25, 235, a touchdown, and an interception. Here comes the rushing attack. 9 carries, 114 with 2 touchdowns. He's a freshman, right? This is just what you want to see from someone who's supposed to be freaking Batman, right? CMU, sorry you're the sacrificial lamb, and I'm okay with it. But look at those numbers, man. Justice Hayes, 14 carries, 104 yards, 1 touchdown. Jordan Marshall, 10 carries, 52 yards, 2 touchdowns. It seemed like pretty much every running back they have got a touchdown. But what he needs to do is he needs to keep this up, man, because I'll tell you what, watching them obliterate a MAC team the way that they're supposed to when he's a freshman, now that's kind of what you want to see. Now I want to see him play up against the big boys. Like, dude, we can't lose to Michigan State this year. We definitely can't lose to Ohio State. Easier said than done because they're a top-ranked team right now, and I think at that point we'll be in the ranking position a little closer. But yeah, he's got to keep this up. No, Mike, hold on. This is what he says. I subscribe, send me a hoodie, and then he says, I'll get one, 50% off. I'm not telling you to buy another one. What you need to do is you need to contact the postal office or whoever delivered it, because it shows that you bought it, and find out why it's not there. You just give up. Just lay down. Come on, man. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to play. Let's do this. He might be Batman. Unreal. Luati, damn it. I'm going to end up having to call them for you and find out where this went. I want you to wear this thing. Even though the new ones are a little sweeter. Okay, so I got this clip queued up. This is what happens when you're live and you're by yourself. All right. And of course, it just instantly mutes it when you want it not to be.
What did you learn about him today?
He might actually be Batman. We need to do a DNA test on him because he could be Batman.
Does he have a mask hidden somewhere?
Yes.
Thanks, Coach.
He just says yes. Does he have a mask hidden somewhere? Yes. All right, so that's exactly what you wanted from that. That was kind of one of those fun games, but now really, guys, to me, this is about setting the tone, who you are as a team. We know that we're miles away from the fucking Bears, dude. It's a joke of a franchise. It always has been. It always will be. Sorry, Ponce. I know you're not watching, but if you were, you probably have some nasty things to say back to me. But seriously, I know the Lions have nothing to talk about in the last 50 years, but screw you guys. We got Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, and I'm pretty happy and confident. That's what it comes down to. I'm confident in my team. I'm confident in my roster. They're healthy. They're here. This is the tone-setting game. I'm not even going to pretend to be negative like Levati and move away to Colorado because I can't handle a losing football team, and I got to go where everybody else goes to be a Broncos fan. But listen, I can promise you one thing, that actually the true loyal Detroit fans will be rewarded with this game. This is going to be a fun game. And yeah, Adam, I still consider you a true loyal fan. Adam, you're not a Jags fan. You didn't pull Levati and just melt into the local scene and become a huge Broncos fan. Or you didn't do something like the do and live in Michigan, grow up in Michigan, and somehow you're a Chicago Bears fan. Like, shame on you. I know you guys are streaming today, and you're not in this chat, but I'm hoping after the game as a Bears fan, you'll at least join me. And that's another thing. I will be hopping on after this game, celebrating this win against the Bears in true fashion. So join me for the post game as well. Noon is a little early for some folks to get excited about football. I don't blame you, but should be no. It's not like you're going to be doing anything else after the game. What are you going to jump into one of those 4:00 games with your eyes wide open? I doubt it, dude. You're going to want to come on here for at least 20 minutes, and you're going to want to comment about the games. Levati says, I only moved out here for Super Bowl 50. I know, and yet you're stuck out there. Now you're not allowed to move back. So it's over. You know you're allowed to come back twice a year, and I think you've already used those passes. Well, it's going to be a sad Christmas for you, brother. You will be in Colorado. You ain't coming back for Christmas this year. It's not allowed. Can't let it happen. Cannot let it happen. Oh my God. You know, they're talking red zone with commercials. Kind of strange. So anybody out there that's paying for red zone, let me know. I thought I still had it. I don't have it. When I was discussing with Adam, we got a little workaround scheme with DirecTV right now. Kind of don't want it if I don't have it. Do you really need to watch every touchdown live? You can watch your game, plus just have social media pulled up, and it'll kind of tell you. Everybody will tell you really what's going on. If you have that much time on a Sunday to physically keep your eyeballs on all that stuff, what else are you doing? That's a lot of dedication. And don't tell me you're a dedicated football fan. I think you're just really lazy, because if you're a dedicated football fan, you'd have a podcast and you'd put work into it. If you're just sitting there staring at a TV for 14 hours, you're just lazy. So while we're waiting for the Lions to start, let's get back into some local weekly NFL news. So we kind of mentioned the inactive players, mainly Brock Purdy being one of them. I love this article. Giants being patient with Russell Westbrook at quarterback as rookie Jackson Dart awaits first action. Listen, Cut him now. Get rid of Russell Westbrook. If this, I think, was just a media stance done by the New York Giants at putting a respectable quarterback in there, like a name, right? A respectable name from the New York media, and then letting him go out there looking like an ass clown and then hyping up Jackson Dart. So just put Jackson Dart in and get it over with. We know Russ isn't going to finish this season out as a Giant. Chargers, Raiders, week 2. What did I say? It's going to come down to the quarterbacks. Justin Herbert's a better quarterback than Geno Smith. So, sorry, Pete Carroll. Jim Harbaugh's going to out-scheme you. Buccaneers, Texans, week 2. Still think that this is not the season for the Texans to start out 0-2. They're going to definitely win this game. It's not going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be close, but this is a Texans win. And then this is what I'm talking about. They don't want to pay Micah Parsons, but here you go. Tyler Smith signs 4-year, $96 million extension to become highest paid guard in NFL. So this was a pissing match between Micah Parsons and Jerry. I'm still not sure why anyone's shocked that this is happening, but that's all that was. And I still think the Packers did not have to trade for him. They're a good team without him, and they overpaid. Just my personal opinion. Yeah, tell me your thoughts. Lavati, what do you think about Micah Parsons? Do you even know who he is? Oh, here's a good question for you, Lavati. Do you follow collegiate cheerleading still, now that you're out of school? Do you guys talk about who's still got the best cheer squads? Or is there like a cheerleading ranking system? You know what? You need to come back on here sometime. And I want you to tell us your cheerleading journey. I'm being dead serious. It's the only way I'm not going to put your fat 8th grade picture on clothing and sell it. But I really think, I really, really, truly think your story would catch some heat. It'd be pretty fun. Lavati said, I think he fucked us up last week. Oh, yeah? Oh, here it is. Michael Lavati, I don't watch stunting videos anymore. Haven't thrown a girl around in years. Okay, you got to be careful with what you say when you say throw around, right? We got to understand he means throwing them up in the air, not physically throwing women into the walls. We're not promoting domestic violence here, Lavati. Why don't you calm down a minute? Please calm down. Now, it's actually pretty impressive what he used to do as his former roommate that had to hear about it all the time. That's why I think it would be cool to have him come on and do a little episode, tell us how he got on the team, some of the stuff he did. He got to go to Florida. He was a cheerleader for the Pistons, too, so you could talk about your experience being part of the Pistons team. I don't remember the exact years and who was on that roster, but I know you got to meet some people. So you should come on. You were technically a local Detroit celebrity. And you've been on before. You didn't know you were coming on, but you did. So this time it can be a little bit more organized. All right, we got 15 more minutes before the Lions start. Any more crazy minute last news? Any big updates? What's going on in the world of Twitter? Hermdo's been running the Detroit Fan Forum Twitter account. He's kind of more of a social media guru. I don't do really well at posting things. Obviously, I can share the shit out of this stuff, but he's a little bit more better at engaging with people than I am. So doesn't really look like anything crazy is happening right before this game. I mean, it just seems like a very focused week 2. Let's see. No last-minute drama. Jimmy Fallon. 8 seconds ago, Jimmy Fallon in town to tape an episode of The Tonight Show later today. First made time for some grub at Miller's. Wise man. Why is Jimmy Fallon in town? Oh, look who it is. It's Lavati back in the chat. He's practically famous. Brandy has the other headphone now. Is that like a warning that I'm not supposed to say certain things versus other? I mean, we're freaking live on YouTube anyways. So, yeah, Brandy, tell him to come on here. Tell his story as a cheerleader. But the Lavati story, all the details behind it, the scandals, the heartbreak, the what else? It's kind of like a really sad behind the music's. I could even do like how that VH1 had the behind the music. We'll call it behind the mat. The Mike Lavati cheerleading story. I throw bitches. How about that? Is that a good name? It was like a working title we can come up with. Seriously, why is Jimmy Fallon doing the Tonight Show here? It's very strange. You know, and that's another thing I was thinking about. Does anybody even watch late night TV anymore? Like, is that still something people do? That used to be the biggest thing in the world, and I feel like late night TV is the last thing anybody cares about anymore. We'll see. Hold on, did I just see something about Jared Goff getting a knee injury? No, that's not right. That had to be fake news. Well, speaking of fake news, what kind of bullshit do you think the Tigers are going to get us into this postseason? I truly don't believe in this team in the postseason. I mean, I know they clobbered the Yankees, but I don't believe in the Yankees either. I feel like there's so many better teams with less expensive payrolls at Seattle. Like there's teams that look the part, and the Tigers don't look the part. They look like they're limping into this. They're lucky they had such a big lead into the start of the season, because I don't really think you would be seeing this excitement right now in the Motor City, because the game was fun. It was sold out when I was there. But from a postseason standpoint, this is not a World Series team. I don't really care what anybody says. Sorry. Dude, how do we get Lavati on here and tell his story? Well, from a fantasy standpoint, you guys better all have your roster set, because you're screwed right now if you don't. I didn't do a fantasy football team this year. I don't really see the point of it unless you're going to pay attention to it. And I can't do fantasy football leagues where you just sign up and don't pay attention, because then it sucks. Then you're stuck playing against those guys, and I hate being that guy. So the reason I say that is I was trying to make sure my kid wasn't that guy, and had to wake him up this morning and say, dude, you got to set your rosters. Don't be that guy. Don't sleep past the 1 o'clock game deadline and not set your roster and be that guy. Don't be that guy. What's the betting line right now? Lions, Bears. So any of you gambling addicts that want to make a buck or lose a buck, let's pull the betting odds up right now for the Lions. We got Lions versus Bears spread. Lions -6. Lions versus the Bears over-under 46.5. See, I'm not the only one that thinks this is going to be one of those games that they're going to put big points up. Lions versus Bears money line, Detroit -270, Bears +220. So here are the sport line models. Best bet for Lions, Lions -6. and then take the over at 46.5, guys. The Lions offense looked like it missed Johnson, but their struggles in week 1 were also the byproduct of a disruptive Green Bay defense. Yes, that is true. That is true. This is still a 15-win team from a season ago. Ooh, I like this writer. The model predicts that the Lions cover the spread in 62% of the simulations. So as you know, we live in a matrix. These games are rigged. So if you follow the simulation, 62% of them say we're going to take it -6. Now the over 46.5 points, Levati, are you listening? These two teams cruised past this number in 4 of the 6 head-to-head matchups while Johnson was calling plays for the Lions, averaging 50.7. Combining during that span. So basically what he's saying is, hey, idiot, you need to take the over because even when Ben Johnson was calling plays for the Lions, this was a shootout. Now that you're going to have Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson, it's going to be even more of a shootout, right? So Bears in particular are banged up with 3 starters missing week 1 and likely questionable for week 2. An additional injury suffered on Monday by Nashawn Wright. He had a pick 6 while playing as Jalen Johnson's replacement. So the model says the over hits in 53% of the simulations. So over 46.5, Lions -6. That's where you want to be. Now don't hold me to that. But if you do make money off that, I expect a little bit of some. So I think that's awesome. I think the Lions are not pissing Vegas off this year, which is going to be good. Don't piss Vegas off because you go 15-2 and then you don't go to the Super Bowl. They make sure of it. So let's look at the inactives. Kirby Joseph. See if let's see if my man Kirby's playing today. We'll do the Lions injury report right before the game starts. Guys, we're a couple minutes before kickoff. Levati, how do you watch this game when you're all the way out in Denver? I'm actually curious. So 6 players are inactive for the Lions. Safety Thomas Harper, brand new to the team, who cares? Running back Vaikai, sorry. Defensive lineman Chris Smith, not okay. Tyler Lacey, Tyrus Wheat, and linebacker Trevor Nowaski. So this is something I'm not really too worried about when it comes to our teams, the inactives. The Lions have shared 6 players on their inactive list against the Bears in week 2. Inactives: Thomas Harper, Vaikai, Nowaski, Lacey, Smith, and Wheat. That's it. Love it. Like to see that Kirby Joseph isn't on there. Like to see that Taylor Decker, he's not on there. He's on the active list. Let's do Bears inactive today. Looking like the Bears decided to put out Kyler Gordon, Shamir Turner, Ozzie Trupaloyo, and an outside linebacker, Kylan. Holy crap, I can't even say some of these fellas' names, and I feel disrespectful butchering them. Jahald Walker and Case Keenum, he's their 3rd-string quarterback. So they've got a corner, a D tackle, an offensive tackle, offensive lineman. So you've got guys in the trenches for them hurt, which is good for us, right? That's how we're going to smash and run the ball. So yeah, back to my original question. Anybody that's a Lions fan from out of town, I'm curious to know how you watch your games. Or do you not? Do you just pretend that you watch the game and then get on Facebook and bitch and complain or steal the valor and the glory like Levati probably does? But yeah, we got a kickoff coming up real soon. I got some crazy amount of confidence. I think I got Michael back into looking at cheerleading videos right now. That's exciting on a Sunday. Sorry, Brandy. He's probably going to start making you watch his stunting shit and start telling you about all the crazy, cool tricks he did or whatever it's called. Yeah, not that cool. All right. Detroit Lions, week 2. Let me know too if anyone makes any crazy money off these guys. I want to see if there's been any good bets as a Lions fan you've made, whether they're prop bets or what. I'm not a big fan of. I don't really get into it, but I do like to hear the stories. So let me know. Also, what is everyone thinking about Notre Dame starting out 0-2? Kind of screws their college football playoffs up. What do you make of this? I am not a Notre Dame fan. This excites me. I personally think they're overrated. I don't understand why they're not forced to join a conference. Drives me crazy. I love it. They've got the Cleveland Browns defense ranked as like one of the top 5 teams, and I do think their defense is great. And I'm trying to figure out who do we want to get in a trade from that defense once that team completely blows up, because the Browns are always dookie. Oh my God, we're almost at game time. We're almost at kickoff time. This will be exciting. And I'm sorry if you've been sending me messages on Facebook. I think I'm streaming live on Facebook. Whatever I can see on here, whatever comments I can find, that's what I'm answering to. No, I can see there's nobody on Facebook. All right, so with that being said, we've got kickoff in literally a minute. So I am going to hop off. I'm going to go watch us demolish the Bears. And then we'll come on here for, hey, Lavati, I'm coming on here after the game. So once the game's over, I'm going to text you, see if you can get Roger Cheeseman on here too. Hopefully he's done fighting the Wombat Zombies. All right. One Pride, go Lions.